tonight, right now. Military history is being rewritten. The United States and Israel have launched a massive joint military operation against Iran. But the picture the media is painting, incomplete, because the real war isn't only happening over the targets. It's happening in closed rooms, around commanders' tables, inside logistics spreadsheets, and inside equations of distance, fuel, and time. In this video, you're walking into the operations room. You'll understand how war is actually run, and you'll discover why distance is the #1 enemy in any air war. Stay with me. Every second of this video will change the way you think. Let's start with a simple question. How many US military bases are there in the Middle East? The answer will shock you. Between 30 and 40 military installations, housing between 30,000 and 40,000 troops. From the massive Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, to naval support in Bahrain, to Al Dhafra Base in the UAE. This enormous network was considered America's greatest advantage in the region, until today. Because Iran is striking these bases directly, right now. The relentless attacks are disrupting operations. Qatar is facing political pressure to restrict access. Saudi Arabia is recalculating. And suddenly, the regional network America spent decades building has become a logistical liability. So what's the solution? American commanders are now pulling out the European contingency plan. The concept is straightforward. If the nearby bases are closed, launch from the distant ones. Greece, Bulgaria, Cyprus. But here's where the massive problem emerges. An F-35 or F-16, no matter how advanced, cannot fly thousands of miles round trip, hit its target, and make it back. Simply put, the fuel runs out. This is where the magic solution comes in. The KC-135 Stratotanker fleet. Imagine flying gas stations, suspended in the sky. They launch from the United Kingdom and directly from the United States, head toward precise aerial rendezvous points, wait for the strike packages, fill their tanks, then head back. Without KC-135s, the fighter jets stay on the ground. With KC-135s, unlimited range becomes possible. This fleet isn't just logistical support, it is the entire operation's backbone. To compensate for the loss of land bases, the Navy is bringing its most powerful asset into play. The USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, which was stationed off Gibraltar, is now moving east at full speed toward the eastern Mediterranean. Why this carrier specifically? Because it represents a genuine revolution in naval warfare. It can launch 4 aircraft per minute, and it does so using the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, replacing the old steam catapults. How does this system work? A sequence of electromagnets along the launch track, precision digital software controlling the timing, a moving magnetic field that smoothly pulls and pushes the aircraft, accelerating it to 150 miles per hour, then releases it into flight. The result? Less stress on aircraft airframes, faster launches, and longer equipment lifespan. The carrier now forms a strategic vice grip. European bases from the north, the carrier from the west, and Iran in the middle. But striking alone isn't enough. The battle also requires protection. The problem? Iranian direct attacks on bases in Qatar forced the United States to withdraw 60% of its missile defense systems from the region. The defensive gap must be filled, and fast. The solution? A massive airlift of C-17 Globemaster aircraft, carrying 4 to 6 Patriot batteries and THAAD high-altitude defense components, requiring more than 300 heavy airlift sorties. But here's the secret most people don't know. Not all the missiles being transported are next generation. A large portion are older Patriot missiles pulled from storage in Germany and Japan. Why ship older missiles? Because Iran is now launching thousands of Shahed drones, and using a state-of-the-art interceptor worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to shoot down a drone worth a few $100s is strategic waste. Old cheap missiles for cheap drones. Advanced modern missiles for ballistic and hypersonic threats. That is the real military logic. The attack didn't begin with manned aircraft. It began at sea, with missiles, with automated precision. In the Arabian Gulf and the northern Arabian Sea, Arleigh Burke destroyers received launch orders. Vertical launch system cells open, Dozens of Tomahawk land attack missiles erupt from the ship's decks and vanish into the darkness. These missiles aren't racing to their targets, they're sneaking, flying at extremely low altitude, terrain following the landscape, staying below radar horizon. Every single one programmed to impact at the exact same coordinated moment. The targets? S-300 and S-400 radar arrays, command facilities, communications centers, blind the enemy's eyes, silence its voice before the second wave arrives. And while the Tomahawks are still raining down on their targets, the silver bullets have already penetrated Iranian airspace in complete silence. The B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. Even if every strait is closed and every naval base disabled, the United States holds one absolute trump card: 3 strategic bombers capable of striking any point on Earth within 24 hours. First, the B-2 Spirit, the Doorbreaker. The only aircraft in history capable of taking off from Missouri, flying directly to Iran, penetrating the most sophisticated air defense networks without being detected, dropping bunker-busting bombs on facilities buried deep underground, and returning safely. The catch: only 19 B-2 Spirits exist in active service worldwide. Every single one is irreplaceable. Second, the B-1B Lancer, the supersonic heavy. It carries the largest bomb load of any American bomber. It surges in at high speed and low altitude, unleashing a barrage of cruise missiles and GPS-guided bombs to pave the way. Third, the B-52 Stratofortress, the wise elder. Don't let its age fool you. It's a flying missile truck. It launches long-range cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away, completely outside Iranian air defense range, in total safety. How do they work together? Phase 1. B-2 Spirits strike the high-value air defense systems like the S-400. They neutralize them using stealth technology. Phase 2. B-1B Lancers surge in at ultra-low altitude, eliminating older guns and missiles. Phase 3. B-52s flood in to destroy critical infrastructure without facing meaningful threats. One door opens after another, and each door is opened by a different weapon. But Iran is not a spectator. Tactic 1. Swarm attack. Hundreds of small, fast attack boats, armed with heavy machine guns and anti-ship missiles, launched from every direction simultaneously. The goal? Overwhelm the American Phalanx defense system with more targets than it can track and destroy. Tactic 2. The silent killer. Mining the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil choke point. Thousands of naval mines, some of them smart mines capable of identifying the specific acoustic signatures of enemy vessels. The goal is also economic. Spike global oil prices immediately, inflicting massive financial damage on the United States and its allies. Tactic 3. The coastal kill zone. Iran's coastline is rugged and mountainous, a perfect sanctuary for mobile missile launchers. The fire and relocate tactic. Launch the missile, then immediately move to a new position before the Americans can respond. This turns the entire Gulf into a permanent kill zone. Tactic 4. The submarine ambush. The Arabian Gulf is naturally shallow, making it difficult for large American nuclear submarines to operate. But it's ideal for Iran's fleet of small diesel-electric submarines like the Ghadir class. These stealthy subs, nearly impossible to detect due to their low acoustic signature, sit silently on the seafloor, waiting for a target to pass overhead, then fire their torpedoes in a sudden ambush strike. Tactic 5. Suicide drone waves. Iran has transformed itself into the Middle East's premier drone power. Massive waves of suicide drones are launched to strike radar dishes and flight decks on American ships. The goal? Blind sensors and disrupt air operations, leaving the ships exposed to subsequent missile strikes. Tactic 6. Severing the logistical lifeline. Intensive ballistic missile bombardment, the largest arsenal in the Middle East, targeting fixed bases and logistics centers. The goal? Deny the U.S. Navy the fuel, ammunition, and command support needed to sustain the fight, because a ship without a port cannot hold out for long. This is the real war, not just explosions and dramatic images, but logistics spreadsheets, fuel equations, and decisions made in seconds. Whoever controls the logistics controls the battle. What you've witnessed today is not media commentary. This is the actual tactical playbook of the most complex war the Middle East has ever seen. The most important question now: what comes next? If you want to stay ahead with the deepest and most precise analysis, subscribe to the channel now, because what happens in the coming days will redraw the map of this region for decades to come.